Bonjour à tous. Je n'ai pas encore de voix. My voice is not totally there yet. It's early morning. Bonjour Patrick. Bonjour Cathy. Bonjour tout le monde. Et j'espère que vous avez aussi une tasse de café. I hope you also have something very good to drink. I have coffee, of course, and we're going to start to read a new story about Nicolas. And this time the name is Ah, la bonne franquette. This is already leçon 28, 28th lesson. Hope you're going to enjoy it. At least we're still, I think, more or less 35, which makes me happy. 35, 35 personnes. So, as we usually do, I read first 2 pages. You just try to listen. I'm sorry. You try to listen. You'll try to understand as much as possible. And then we're going to analyze everything. And I read it once again. Now, this story is about the boss of the father coming to dinner to Nicolas' house. So you can imagine the stress, but let's first read the 2 first pages of the story. La bonne franquette. Monsieur Moucheboum va venir dîner ce soir à la maison. Monsieur Moucheboum, c'est le patron de papa et il va venir avec Madame Moucheboum, qui est la femme du patron de papa. Ça fait des jours qu'on en parle à la maison du dîner de ce soir. Et ce matin, papa et maman étaient très énervés. Maman était occupée comme tout. Et papa, hier, l'a emmenée au marché en auto. Et ça, il ne le fait pas souvent. Moi, je trouve ça très chouette. On dirait que c'est Noël, surtout quand maman dit qu'elle ne sera jamais prête à temps. Et quand je suis revenue de l'école, ce soir, la maison était toute drôle, balayée et sans housse. Je suis entrée dans la salle à manger et il y avait la rallonge à la table et la nappe blanche toute dure. Et au-dessus, les assiettes qui ont de l'or tout autour et dont on ne se sert presque jamais pour manger dedans. Et puis, devant chaque assiette, il y avait des tas de verres, même les longs tout minces. Et ça m'a étonnée, parce que ceux-là, on ne les sort jamais du buffet. Et puis, j'ai rigolé. J'ai vu qu'avec tout ça, maman avait oublié de mettre un couvert. Alors, je suis entrée en courant dans la cuisine. Et là, j'ai vu que maman parlait avec une dame habillée en noir avec un tablier blanc. Maman était jolie comme tout, avec les cheveux drôlement bien peignés. « Maman !» j'ai crié, « tu as oublié de mettre une assiette à table. » Maman a poussé un cri et puis elle s'est retournée d'un coup. « Nicolas !» m'a dit maman, « je t'ai déjà demandé de ne pas hurler comme ça et de ne pas entrer dans la maison comme un sauvage. Tu m'as fait peur et je n'ai pas besoin de ça pour m'énerver. » Alors moi, j'ai demandé pardon à maman. C'est vrai qu'elle avait l'air énervée. Et puis, je lui ai expliqué de nouveau le coup de l'assiette qui manquait à table. « Mais non, il ne manque pas d'assiette, » m'a dit maman. « Va faire tes devoirs et laisse-moi tranquille. » « Mais si, il manque une assiette, » j'ai dit. « Il y a moi, il y a papa, il y a toi, il y a monsieur Moucheboum, et puis il y a madame Moucheboum, ça fait 5. Et il n'y a que 4 assiettes. Alors, quand on va aller manger, si toi ou papa, ou monsieur Moucheboum, ou madame Moucheboum, the rest will come next week. So let's have a look at those 2 pages. Let's get back to the beginning of the story. So, à la bonne franquette is really like a home style dinner. So if people come to your place and you can say, oh, I'm sorry, I did not prepare anything special. It's just a home-style dinner. You can say à la bonne franquette. So let's start to analyze all this. Monsieur Moucheboum, well, that's the name of the boss. It's a bit a funny name, is going to come to dine. Dîner is to come for dinner, to dine. Ce soir, tonight. So that's the same day, ce soir, tonight. À la maison. Sorry. À la maison, at our place. At the house, really, it says. Monsieur Moucheboum, so Mr. Moucheboum, is the boss of Dad, Papa. And he is going to come with Mrs. Moucheboum. Now, you can see already that we have here like a future construction. Il va venir. So, yes, va is a conjugation of the verb aller, and you can make the future by using simply the verb aller, to go, and then put the infinitive after it. So that's quite easy. There is another future which is much more difficult. Il va venir is going to come with Madame Moucheboum, Mrs. Moucheboum, who is the wife of the boss of Dad. So what is the hard word here? Maybe la femme. You see, you write an E. I'm really sorry for my voice. So la femme is the wife. It can also be the woman. It's the same word in French. Okay. Now, do you see also the du of the boss? Remember, if you have of the and the is masculine, de le changes automatically in du. And that's why we have du and not de le, of the boss. Okay, ça fait des jours. Well, that's a bit of a construction in French. Ça fait, like it has been days. Huh? So for days now, ça fait des jours that they talk about it. The little word en, that is about it. And now, I hope you did not forget that on, but normally it means one. One should, one talks. It can also in French be we, us. It can also be they. So let's hear translated by we. We talk about it à la maison, at the house, at home, du dîner de ce soir, of the dinner of tonight. And this morning, ce matin, papa et maman. Yeah, well, in French you will say papa et maman. In English you will say mom and dad. You will say the opposite. Étaient très énervés. They were, this is a simple past of the verb être. They were very énervés. Well, you will see maybe the word nervous in it, but it really means irritated. So they were very irritated. Mom was, était, and then we have the word occupé. Occupé means busy. She's like occupied with something. Busy, and we have again this thing, Nicolas, he says all the time, comme tout. You can forget about it. He says, as everything. She was busy as everything. It's just an interjection. You don't have to know it. I don't use it. Et papa and dad, hier, yesterday, l'a emmené. Now, emmener is to take to. Oops, sorry. The little l comes from la, her. He took her. And the a comes from the verb to have, because he has taken her. And the her comes in front. You see the little l. So, papa, hier, l'a emmené. Dad, yesterday, took her au marché, to the market. And what do we see? We have again one of those contractions. O is the contraction of a, le, to the, when it's masculine. When it's feminine, it stays a, la. So to the market, en auto, by car. And that is ça. He doesn't do often. Often is souvent. And then we have again, il ne le fait pas. Let's just look at this. So, ne pas is the negation. That's the not. Fait comes from the verb faire, to do. So he does. And then we have le, it. So he doesn't do it souvent, often. Moi, me, je trouve ça très chouette. Je trouve, I find that, très chouette. The word chouette, we know by now, it means cool, nice. I find that very nice. On dirait. On dirait, that's a hard construction. It's the conditional tense. So in English, you would translate it by we would say. Maybe it's more likely to translate it by we would think that it is Christmas. Noël is Christmas. So Nicolas, he thinks it's a bit like Christmas. They go to the market together, the parents. Okay, surtout, especially, quand, when, maman dit, mother says, yeah, that we know by now, maman dit. And then we have this long sentence, qu'elle ne sera jamais prête à temps. If we take à temps, that's quite easy, that's in time. That she, and then we have here a future tense, and that's the hard future, that we call the futur simple, which is not so simple as you would think, because here we have already an exception. Sera is the future of to be, être. And you can think of the song in Spanish, que sera, sera, because in Spanish it's exactly the same, if ever you speak Spanish. So she will be, will not be, ne, and we have not ne pas, but we have ne jamais. So with every negation in French, you need the little ne. We don't have ne pas, but ne jamais means never. That she will never be prête, ready, in time. Now imagine a man had said this. Then there would not have been the E at the end. Then it would have been prêt. And now it's prête. You hear the T because you only do not pronounce the last letter. Okay? So that's typical for mom. She would say, oh, I won't be ready in time. I won't be ready in time. I think we know that situation. Et quand je suis revenue de l'école ce soir, and when je suis revenue, I came back. The re is back. Venu comes from the verb venir. So when I came back, it's a verb conjugated with to be. Remember in French, when you make the past tense, the past perfect, you can have as an auxiliary, but you also can have to be. 14 verbs have to be, and this is one of them. So when I came back de l'école, from school, ce soir, tonight, la maison, the house, était toute drôle. Was totally drôle means funny, but can also mean funny in the sense like bizarre. And that's what it is here. It was really bizarre. It was balayé. Balayé means it was swept, from the verb to sweep, balayer. So it was swept, et sans housse. Sans housse, without covers. Housse is a cover. And you know some people, they put covers on furniture just to keep them clean, to protect them. And so we understand already that in this family, all the furniture is normally covered in housse covers. But now there were no covers. Je suis entrée dans la salle à manger. Je suis entrée, I entered, quite easy, but it's again one of those 14 verbs that have je suis. Je suis entrée. So I entered in the salle à manger, the dining room. And there was, il y avait, la rallonge à la table. La rallonge, to make it longer, it's the extension to the table. You know, you can put two extensions at two sides. Et la nappe, and the tablecloth, blanche, white, toute dure, very hard. When you wash it and then you iron it, you know, with a special product on it, you know, it becomes really very hard. And so this nappe is the tablecloth. Why do we say blanche and not blanc? Because we could also write it without the H-E. Well, that will be if we have a masculine noun here. If we have le, and then it will be blanc. But it's la nappe blanche. Very hard. Et au-dessus, and on top of that, au-dessus, les assiettes, the plates, who have, and then we have de l'or, which is gold. De l'or, gold, tout autour, totally around. So the plates with the golden rim. And dont on ne se sert presque jamais. And of which, this word dont, for the moment you don't have to know, it means of which, and then we have a hard construction, you can also forget it for the moment. So we don't serve ourselves, almost never with it. Ser comes from the verb servir. It really means that we don't use them, on ne se sert, we don't use them almost never, presque jamais, pour manger dedans, to eat in it. So they're just there as decoration, we don't eat in them. Et puis, and then, devant chaque assiette, in front of each plate, il y avait, there was, that we know now for the moment, there is, il y a, there was, il y avait, des tas de verres, lots of verres, glasses. Même les longs, tout minces. Even the long ones, very thin. Et ça m'a étonné. And that astonished me. Étonné, yes, we could say it's like astonished, it surprised me. The me is here, okay? Parce que ceux-là, because those there, those ones, on ne les sort. Sort comes from the verb sortir, to take out. Can also mean to go out. Here it's to take out. So then we have the first part of the negation. Don't, yes, get them out. This is the them. On ne les sort. And then we go into page 101. Almost jamais, never, from the buffet. A buffet is it's like kind of a cupboard, a low cupboard. The buffet, maybe you can say. Jamais. So he says, oh my God, all those glasses, and we almost never take them out. So this is really a big occasion. I hope you understood what's happening. So it's the boss coming to have dinner with the family. Et puis, and then, j'ai rigolé. I laughed. J'ai vu, I saw. Vu, remember, comes from the verb voir. Voir is transformed in u in the past participle. So I saw that with all that, Mom had forgotten, yes, oublier is to forget, to put un couvert. Like one set, one plate, one set, one set, that's what we can say. Alors, je suis entrée en courant dans la cuisine. Then, alors, je suis entrée. You remember that to enter comes with the verb to be. So it's as if you say I am entered, but it's really the past perfect. So I entered en courant, running, dans la cuisine, in the kitchen. And there, et là, j'ai vu, yes, from the verb voir, I saw, that Mom talked with a lady habillée. Habillée means dressed. Habillée en noir, in black. Avec un tablier blanc, with a white apron. Un tablier apron. And you see apron, it's masculine, it has un. So now we don't have blanche, but we have blanc. Okay? Maman était jolie comme tout. Mom was jolie means beautiful. We have again this comme tout expression. We drop it. She was very beautiful. Avec les cheveux drôlement bien peignés, with her hair. Les cheveux is the hair, and in French it's always plural, whereas in English it's singular. With her hair, this drôlement, you can forget. Also, it's a way for Nicolas to say very. This is his other way to say very, comme tout, but we don't have to learn that. So with her hair, well, peigné is combed. like very well done. But peigner is to comb, with a comb. Maman, j'ai crié. Mom, I screamed. You have forgotten, tu as oublié, to put une assiette, one plate, on the table. Maman a poussé un cri. Mom pushed a scream. So she screamed. Poussé un cri. She screamed. Et puis, and then, she turned around. Elle s'est retournée. And you will see this little se means that it's like a reflexive verb. Se retourner means to turn around. And remember, apart from the 14 verbs with être in the past, you also have all the verbs with se in French are conjugated with the verb to be. So don't forget that for the passé composé, the past perfect. So she turned around d'un coup, at once. That means at once. Nicolas, said Mom, je t'ai déjà demandé. So I have already, that's the déjà. Is you, comes from te. I have already demandé, asked you, and remember demander, it's not to demand, it's to ask, we know that. Not to hurler. Hurler means to yell, to scream, comme ça, like that. And not to enter, entrer, in the house, comme un sauvage, like a savage. Tu m'as fait peur. You have made me, there's a little M, scared. You scared me. And je n'ai pas besoin. I don't have the need of that to get irritated. What she means is that she's already very irritated. So I don't need anyone screaming around the house. Good. I hope you get a picture. I think you do. Alors, then, moi, j'ai demandé pardon à maman. So then I have asked sorry to mom. So I apologized. But in French, it's demander pardon, to ask for pardon. So I apologized to mom. C'est vrai, it's true. Qu'elle avait l'air. Avoir l'air, we had it before, it's an important expression. It means to look. She looked really énervée, irritated. Et puis, and then, je lui ai expliqué. So it's really I, to her, have explained. I explained to her, de nouveau, again, the thing, le coup, the thing with the plate, the situation with the plate, qui manquait à table, who was slacking on the table. Mais non, but no. Il ne manque pas d'assiette. There's no plate lacking, said mom to me. Maman m'a dit. Va faire tes devoirs. Go and do your homework. You see again that homework in French, it's plural, always. Tes devoirs. That's what the mother says all the time. Leave me alone and go and do your homework. And she says it again, et laisse-moi tranquille. And leave me tranquille means in peace. Leave me alone. Mais si, but yes. So that's Nicolas again. Il manque une assiette. One plate is lacking. The verb manquer, you say il because it's the general there is lacking. Doesn't mean he. It's there is lacking. One plate, I said. Il y a, which means there is me, there is Dad, there is you, there is Mr. Mushboom, and then there is Mrs. Mushboom. Ça fait 5, that makes 5. And il n'y a que, and this, remember this ne que means only. There's only 4 assiettes, 4 plates. Alors, so, when we are going to eat, you see this construction? When on va aller manger, we will go to eat. The first va, yes, it's also the verb aller, but it's the conjugation for the future, and this is to go to eat. If you, or Dad, or Mr. Mushboom, or Madame Mushboom, etc., we see that next next week. But so you can imagine, Nicolas didn't imagine he was not going to be with the rest of the family. Not for that day. He will be eating alone, but he doesn't know it yet. Okay, I hope you learned something. I'm going to read the whole text again so that after having analyzed, you can try to listen again, hoping you understand a little bit more. À la bonne franquette. Monsieur Moucheboum va venir dîner ce soir à la maison. Monsieur Moucheboum, c'est le patron de papa. Il va venir avec Madame Moucheboum, qui est la femme du patron de papa. Ça fait des jours qu'on en parle à la maison, du dîner de ce soir. Et ce matin, papa et maman étaient très énervés. Maman était occupée comme tout. Et papa, hier, l'a emmenée au marché en auto. Et ça, il ne le fait pas souvent. Moi, je trouve ça très chouette. On dirait que c'est Noël. Surtout quand maman dit qu'elle ne sera jamais prête à temps. Et quand je suis revenue de l'école ce soir, la maison était toute drôle, balayée et sans housse. Je suis entrée dans la salle à manger et il y avait la rallonge à la table et la nappe blanche toute dure. Et au-dessus, les assiettes qui ont de l'or tout autour et dont on ne se sert presque jamais pour manger dedans. Et puis, devant chaque assiette, il y avait des tas de verres, même les longs, tout minces. Et ça m'a étonnée parce que ceux-là, on ne les sort jamais du buffet. Et puis, j'ai rigolé. J'ai vu qu'avec tout ça, maman avait oublié de mettre un couvert. Alors, je suis entrée en courant dans la cuisine. Et là, j'ai vu que maman parlait avec une dame habillée en noir avec un tablier blanc. Maman était jolie comme tout, avec les cheveux drôlement bien peignés. « Maman !» j'ai crié, « tu as oublié de mettre une assiette à table !» Maman a poussé un cri. Et puis, elle s'est retournée d'un coup. « Nicolas !» m'a dit maman, « je t'ai déjà demandé de ne pas hurler comme ça et de ne pas entrer dans la maison comme un sauvage. Tu m'as fait peur et je n'ai pas besoin de ça pour m'énerver. » Alors moi, j'ai demandé pardon à maman. C'est vrai qu'elle avait l'air énervée. Et puis, je lui ai expliqué de nouveau le coup de l'assiette qui manquait à table. « Mais non, il ne manque pas d'assiette, » m'a dit maman. « Va faire tes devoirs et laisse-moi tranquille. » « Mais si, il manque une assiette, j'ai dit. Il y a moi, il y a papa, il y a toi, il y a Monsieur Moucheboum et puis il y a Madame Moucheboum. Ça fait 5. Et il n'y a que 4 assiettes. Alors quand on va aller manger, si toi ou papa ou Monsieur Moucheboum ou Madame Moucheboum, etc., etc., happy you were there with me. We're still enough people to continue this podcast. So I'm continuing now my coffee. And I hope you learned something today. I hope to hear and see you next week. Bye.